Welcome back to NGTV Does City Skylines Tips, featuring your host Spencer. And this episode is about growing your city and just getting the most basic kind of growth and movement possible here. I actually grew this from the initial, I think episode 3 to episode 4 in about like less than an hour, about 45 minutes. I added on, close to 1,000 people, and I went through a bunch of money, and I'm going at a pretty good weekly income here. So I'll show you kind of how I did that here, and we'll start first with our bars here. So with this, you always want to make sure that you are paying attention to how much the demand is. Don't ever bring the demand too low, but always try to meet the demand, especially before it hits the top. And so when you see this, you want to be building up prematurely areas and be always trying to fill this demand. And okay, that sounds like okay, that's part of the game. That's not really a tip, but listen, it's something that people overlook all the time. And you don't pay attention to it. You let it hit up, and you don't realize it until it has that little notification when it hits the top, where it's like, hey, BT dubs, bro. People want to live in houses. So definitely, I'm just gonna go here, and with the grid system that I have, this current style of grid system, I should say, it is much easier to fulfill that demand. And never build more than you're going to be using. Don't forget your water either. That's important. Never build more than really what you think you're going to use, and it really just comes with time, with feeling on how much the demand is compared to what it is, depending on what portion of the game you're in. Obviously, the demand here is going to be different at a 70,000 size city where you're using high density housing and stuff like that. So it's definitely going to be different. Also, something to keep in mind: you can play on the faster speed to increase, but when you're first starting out, definitely play on a slightly slower speed. And this allows you to, get away with mistakes. Like for instance, with the water, people don't actually end up using the water for like the first week or so of the house being up, or I should say the first couple of days. So what that allows you to is to build up and have people moving in, and then you'll start getting a population as well as money from them. But they don't actually start using the water until a couple of seconds, or a couple of in-game days later. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, if anybody can figure out how to switch this to American style, where it's month, day, year, that would be great. It's not really that important to me, but Matt would definitely appreciate it. He's my co-host, and it's just it's the little things, really. Back to growing our city. So besides just meeting our demands, and you see, I was able to just, in fact, I probably built a little too much here in regards to the demand. Always keep building. So right here, with the way my city is, I like to build in the middle here, and then if I have excess, I just build something like that. And that provides people with a place to go for the commercial, and it's always near where people live. It allows me to also do some interesting stuff with buffer. Maybe I can have some more industry up here. Or another thing with building your city is don't be afraid to buy the other tiles. Plan out kind of where you're going to be going first. Keep in mind where all of the highways are. If you're going to be having industry kind of on the side of your city here, and you maybe want to buy this, always try to build another highway connection into your industry, because industry has the vast majority of the heavy traffic in there. So that's something that you want to kind of be able to plan for and run into. So always kind of take a look at the surroundings before you start building where particular zones are, especially if you're going to be doing big zonage in regards to the industry, because a lot of people don't really do this inner style of commercial and residential and stuff like that. They tend to do like a commercial place, and then a residential place, and then an industry place. And if you're going to be doing that, then absolutely make sure you plan out where you're going to be, for the future, where your traffic's going to be, because that's, like I said before many times, one of the most important things in this game. The other thing that you definitely need to pay attention to is your budget in the beginning. And the greatest way to improve your budget is always pay attention. As you see, I have this at 80%, 70%, 70%. Just pay attention to what it is that this is telling you. And it's good to keep maybe like, this is actually a little too low, because then once you start building up, you'll go into the yellow, and people will get mad, and they'll leave your city. But not by droves, but they'll definitely be leaving your city. But definitely keep it maybe about halfway or a little bit below, and that allows you to save a little bit of money. And everything's running at 100%. Technically, the whole city's taken care of until you hit the yellow, and then all that is just brownouts. That's just portions of the city kind of going out, maybe in the farther reaches. So definitely, when it comes to your budget, you always want to never just keep it at 100%, because you're wasting, like, watch, if I put this on 100%, what is that, 1445, and I'll put this on 100%, what does that put me at? I mean, look at all that. That's like $200 right now. And it just keeps going up. So, put this down to 80%, the city's still happy. I'm still happy. I have more money. I can grow my city faster by creating more roads and keeping up with the demand. As you can see, the demand is already caught up. Another quick tip when it comes to building your city quickly is always keep in mind where you're going to be setting up all of your little extras. And if you're building in the way that I am here, you will always have a little space up to the side to kind of add them on. Also, don't be afraid to just completely demolish houses for an elementary school. That's smart as well. Just make use of the amount of space that you can. Don't be putting an elementary school. It's not showing me the... Oh, it's because I can't make it. Oh, I can make it. I don't know why it's not showing me. Oh, it is. Okay, so you see where the road's green up right here. If my two elementary schools weren't here, you would see where it would officially end. Don't be putting it like right next to where your industry is, because then you're not getting the full effect. You're just going to build more, and that actually slows down the growth of your city if you're not absolutely taking advantage of the utmost amount of space that you have with these. The other thing with that is keep people happy by creating as much luxury as possible and leisure, and definitely plan for the future, and don't be putting, don't be putting, I don't know why that sentence just sounds so weird. Don't be putting ones like right next to the industry or anything like that, because the people who will be benefiting most will be the commercial and the residential. So, but definitely put it towards the outer portions where you're going to actually be growing and where the most people are going to be affected. And that's something that you could absolutely take care of. So, I'll put this, on the far edge. And then that's going to cover anybody over here as well. And it's going to raise the land value, which is going to create happiness, and also will increase the amount of taxes that you can get off of people. Oh, shit, there's a fire. Oh, we got it. Yeah. I mean, it was barely even a fire. Yeah, we're good. Okay, we're good. And so those are just some quick tips here. Just, stay on top of your money. You're going to be rolling in the dough if you do everything like this. Also, with taxes, don't be afraid to get it up to 11 or even 12% sometimes, just to meet demands. What the money does is it allows you to have more money to build roads to keep up with the demand with your bars down here, your RCI, as well as it allows you to temper the cost. Because if you take a look, where is it? Right here, you have expenses, and things cost monthly based on your buildings. So if you look here, where is it? This is 320 a week. That's I'm sorry, that's 320 water a week. I'm stupid. Upkeep is 400 a week. So 400 a week for each one of these. And that comes straight out of your budget. So budgeting downward, depending on availability, especially with your water and your electricity, and even your trash, until people start complaining about it, and then you just move it on up, will allow you to make up for the cost of these, and allow you to have more money for when you actually get these available to you. Because these things cost 10,000, 12,000, and that's something you don't want to be waiting for. And then as soon as you have something like that, like a fire department available, all of a sudden everyone's having fires. If you notice, you don't have fires until you have the fire department, but once you have it available, you want to be able to have that 12,000 available, that 12,000 for it. Sure, you get the bonuses when you level up and stuff like that. They give you, sometimes they'll give you a little stipend or a little 20,000 plus. But it's just good practice. Just stay on top of the money. Squeeze as much, as many pennies as you can out at all times. Always keep in mind here, never have this full, because that's just wasted money right there. All right, guys. Well, if you have any questions, about growing your city, or if you have any suggestions as to how I'm doing these videos, definitely leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the like button. If you want to see some more, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.